Welcome back to WeatherBug here on this Wednesday. Todd Nelson with a look at your national coast-to-coast forecast. Of course, weather headlines pretty much like they were yesterday. Continued clippers turning colder and windier in many spots, and then the western wind and warmth. It is also very dry in the west. All right, before we get into it, I wanted to mention that January 15th, not only is it the middle point of meteorological winter, which lasts December, January, and February, those 90 days, we are now right at the midpoint. So how about that? But we also have a full moon, and it's at apogee, and that's when it's the farthest from the Earth. So it's going to appear 12.5% smaller than the one coming up in August, which will be the nearest moon here this year. All right, radar and warnings as we fly into the southeast. We have a little clipper system rolling through the Appalachians, a little wintry mix in that general area. The west, high winds, red flag warnings. There's a fire that started yesterday out near the Bay Area, and unfortunately a structural loss. They had evacuations on a particular island out there, but now our focus shifts to a clipper system rolling through the Midwest. Those lime green colors indicate blizzard watches upgraded to blizzard warnings, as some of the winds could be approaching 50 to 60 miles per hour. This was the view from South Dakota yesterday with one clipper system, the first one, and the winds with that anywhere from 30 to 40 plus. The next one is going to be 50 to 60 plus, and it will be blowing all this fresh snow around, which was up to about 4 to 6 inches or more in some spots right along Minnesota and Wisconsin. So with this next clipper system, not a terrible amount of snow, but again, we do expect to see that really crank up those winds. And again, if that's not enough, we have another clipper set to move on in for Saturday. So how about that? All right, precipitation over the next 5 days looking very, very dry in the western half of the country. It will also be warm.